My name is Nia McAllister, and I'm the Public Programs Manager at the Museum of the African Diaspora in San Francisco. And as we gather here today, I begin all events acknowledging that MoAD affirms that Black Lives Matter. We recognize and condemn the ongoing systemic violence against Black people. We honor and mourn the senseless murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tony McDade, Casey Goodson Jr., Patrick Warren Sr., Andre Hill, Dante Wright, Anthony Thompson Jr., Ma'Khia Bryant, and so many others who have lost their lives in police brutality and racial injustice, including those whose names we do not know. MoAD's commitment to racial justice is ongoing, and as such, we continue to say these names to hold space and to honor these victims. I also want to acknowledge the spaces that we're physically occupying. Though we're gathered here virtually, we recognize that all non-native people to this land are descendants from settler occupiers or those forcibly brought to this continent. MoAD occupies the unceded land of the Ramaytush Ohlone people. We pay our respects to the Ohlone people and their elders, both past and present, who've stewarded this land throughout the generations. We encourage everyone to learn more about the native lands that you occupy by visiting nativeland.ca, and we'll share that resource in the chat as well. It's always wonderful getting to gather with all of you in this space. And I'm very grateful for this community, for healing through art as we've been through so much and continue to go through so much. I find that poetry is really a source of both healing and community building. So in this space that we've created here, it's one where we center respect, where we hold space for each other. We recognize all our feelings from grief to exhaustion to joy. And so I want to emphasize that we continue to create spaces that amplify Black voices and again, center respect. So for those who are new to this space or those returning, I'm going to give a brief overview of the event and then we'll jump right into our poetry. So we have a wonderfully full lineup of readers this evening, as well as our feature, Gabriel Cortez. So Gabriel will be doing a set in the middle of our open mic readers for about 20 to 25 minutes. And both before and after that, we'll have all of our open mic readers read for about 4 minutes each. And I'm about to share the lineup in the chat, and I'll read each person's name ahead of time to introduce them. If for some reason someone isn't in the room, we'll circle back to them if they join us afterwards and make sure they have their chance on the mic. And for all of those who are here in the audience, I encourage you to interact by using the chat feature, using the reactions. Any air snaps and claps are highly encouraged. We're really trying to affirm all the people who are coming up and sharing this evening. So please write out lines or words that stand out to you and really show love to all of our readers. And I think those are all the logistics. So with that, I would like to invite up Sylvia Blaylock to start us off.
Greetings from Cocoa County. It's been a while. Hi, Nia. I'm going to get right into it. Autumn tumbles through, mournful gulling evening, nothing lush, so much as gilded, smell of patina and the coming of age. A single bare branch tells time. And that is that first piece. I'm going to try to keep them very short. This is Blind Bullets. Bullets don't recognize race or creed, but manage to find the Black, no matter who shoots them. Whether ricochet or straight away, brown bodies hit the ground like shells expended. Bullets don't check your pants to see which way you hang. Even in a spray, it's more likely to be a man. And if the bullet should strike a woman, she's 4 times likely another brown body down. Bullets don't ask if you took your meds today, or if the exchange of words was really horseplay. Bullets don't let cooler heads prevail. Hot head equals hot hands that let them spray. Bullets don't say a prayer that who they strike will live, that what is done in anger won't take all there is to give. Bullets don't apologize when they've taken this thing too far. With bullets, there are no takebacks, no rewinds, nor do-over to be found. With bullets, the answer is definitive. Arguments ending in echoed sound. Bullets have done nothing to hurt anyone. It's the shooters that are my concern. Bullets don't care if you have a family or if that family had a plan. Bullets don't care if you're Black or white, if you're woman or man. Bullets don't care if you're going to prom or if your team will win the big game. Bullets don't ask what God you pray to, if you pray to one at all. Bullets don't seek a claim to fame. Bullets don't have names written on them. Bullets don't pick out the face they hate. Bullets are slaves to their masters. Bullets are victims of physics. They go where they are shot. In case you missed this, the argument against bullets is based on lies. Bullets are blind with shooters for eyes. And that's that piece. The last one, and I thank you again for this venue and this opportunity. This is Concrete Rose. The rose that grew from concrete, now pressed beneath glass, preserved but now pressured under feet, trapped in the story of her courageous past, forever frozen in budding stage, proving her worth in this endless maze, never moving beyond the first boom, doomed to never fully bloom, subsisting on filtered light and runoff rain, fresh air nowhere to be found. No foothold could be gained using her name as her currency. The concrete rose did her best growing underground. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. It's so wonderful to hear your poetry back on the mic. Thanks for being here. Next up, I would like to invite Sarita McKell up to the mic. Welcome, Sarita.
Oh, greetings. It's been a minute and I was racing and I realized I didn't tell you second half, and you know Thursdays are really a bit much. And I said, what? She did this? So the stuff is what I'm doing is a little weird, but it's here. Okay, let's see, where is it? Ancestors return. Okay, here we go. Okay, this was something that came up a while back. Culturally perceived values. American gangsters. Cool, we got you exclusively, baby. Brought to you by our fee to free enterprise. Illusion of inclusion is our law of exclusion to ride this mofo ship. In 2006, 3 6 Mafia wins an Academy Award for Best Song. It's hard out here for a pimp. Millions of viewers all over the country watch 3 6 Mafia dressed in gangster fatigues, pants sagging off ass swag, neck dressed in foot-long gold diamond-studded cross, steps proudly on stage to accept the award and says, first, I want to thank my moms and Jesus. Hickory dickory dock. The man is counting cell blocks. He wants you in one, so don't you forget. His trickery, penile slippery, don't stop. And I kind of played with that because, you know, the entertainment industry got their own little justification for doing things. But anyway, and moving on to this next one. Remember. We remember when stars kissed your eyes. You looked at me. Talked about the teapot constellation in 77, year of the snake. Same year that child was born, remembering she had been here before when she got old enough to explain it. Remember how she'd reach for her mama, quick, smooth like a Runamamu snake reacting to a sudden gust of wind. She'd move just like that, real sensitive, that child's arc knowledge tree. Could have birthed more like her in this world if Noah's Ark deluge story hadn't drowned so many sacred spines of every kind. But she made it. We made it. Chariots let us ride from the other side of redeemers of dreams that abide. No, you wouldn't know their names, more than you or I can count. Sealed in eternity's wheel, this little light we shine, we let the vine sign. Who's we, you ask? Our cadre from lives past. Hear them? We do. They got our back. And then the little, oh my gosh, there it is. Okay, here it is. Genocide rides nefarious designs. Clandestine saviors favor afflictions, suffer pain, analgesic addictions. Death, conquest, decline points of view. Why exist? And the overseer answered this: to make you pee on yourself and like it. We collapse your synapse for another point of view. Shock cognitive relapse for superior expert views. Complicit with illicit, avoid own understanding. Bible truth is law, faith demanding. So you can pee on yourself and like it. Semantic roles, meaning conflate. Those in ambiguous authority today, AI and sci-fi entertain to blend realities, possibility, fatalities for times in. Did the Nas have the natives from the pilgrim? Did the Nas save the natives from the pilgrims? No, God's manifest suffers little children, so you can pee on yourself and like it. Tent car homes in the street. How delicately do we discuss this disease? Over 70 billionaires in the Bay Area alone, thinking about outer space as their new home, land of the free enterprise. Simon says, do, die, or cry, 'cause you got to learn how to pee on yourself and like it. Okay, that's it. I told you I was in a mood. Forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tarita. I know I sprung it on you, putting you in the first half. So thank you for all those poems. Next up, I would like to invite Crystal D. Mayo up to the mic. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Greetings. Can everyone hear me? All right. Thank you so much, Nia, for the opportunity. My name is Crystal D. Mayo, and I was born and raised in New York City, the South Bronx. And the piece I'm going to share with you today is called The Love of She. She was the mortar bricks that housed me. Within the span of her arms, I found home. She witnessed all my first steps, first words, first timid feet when they took a leap of faith, as my small body squeezed through kissing lips and in between two extension cords. She became the pentameter for my feet, keeping the rhythm of Black girl voices. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on lazy summer days with colored chalk, I'd bring to life all my juvenile manifestations across her ebony palette. And when the echoes of children's laughter taunted me from distant parks where my feet were prohibited, she obliged my solo hopscotch games, holding my pebbles still as I dodged between sketched lines. Oh, and when I was naughty, well, she reminded me with a skin knee of tiny shards of glass, the repercussions of running too fast with untied shoelaces. Oh, I loved her. she loved me. Holding the secrets I whispered into blow flowers that scattered into the wind. And she could arch a tree branch with sprouting leaves just right so that mama's eyes couldn't spy into the barrels in the little park where children ramble through, but where my adolescent self wanted to feel the closeness of the bronze-skinned boy on my pecan tan skin. And over the years, she watched my shadow grow from a paper doll into a grown woman. And when I had outgrown the span of her arms, I took all of our memories and I wrapped them up in tissue paper and I moved uptown. And with each year that went by, I passed her on the number 5 train and hardly began to recognize her at all. Each time the subway doors swung open, there was no sound of my childhood, no voices screeching from icy water of open fire hydrants, no girls with door knocker earrings kicking their shoes off to do pop-ups between a rope and bare feet. There was no laughter, no life. She was still regal with a crown on her head, but the pulse of her kingdom had deceased. Now I saw it coming. In the 1980s, the Spanish music from the bodegas replaced with catcalls of red top, blue top, coursing through the veins of her sidewalks and corners, dividing, infiltrating, destroying her community. The pristine of her hallways, tarnished by the bodies contorted in strange shapes, high off crack fiending for that last hit. The music of hip hop that brought us together, heads bobbing, bodies swaying, had become the soundtrack for gun-toting, reefer smoking, side-eyeing on the elevator ride up. Oh, and the people? Oh, well, they ain't friendly no more. One whole village afraid to raise a child. She was only left with the memories. I loved her, and she loved me. And as I stare across her on the platform on 152nd Street, our eyes lock and meet. Together, we relive memories of bittersweet, of what was once then and everything in between.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing that piece.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, next up, I would like to invite Dr. Poetry Thomas up to the mic. Welcome.
Beautiful rising, beautiful souls. Thank you for this amazing evening and this wonderful moment in time. And thank you for the amazing poets who just raised the mic before me. I come in the name of my grandmothers, Annie Stanley Thomas, Mama Emerald, and I speak the name of my own daughter, Zaya River Akinsete. And we bring you blessings, and I ask my ancestors for permission to speak. Okay. So this piece that I'm going to recite for you is called She's a Survivor. And so this is for all of the beautiful mind, body, souls on this call who have survived something, anything, every day, or anytime. And so I send this piece to strengthen your heart chakra. She's known for lying awake when the sun disappears. Midnight stare deep at her tears, and lullabies cannot erase her fears. Maybe she prays to thee just one more year, the hurt will move on, or eventually move on down her lifespan. Precious Lord, please take her hand. She is a survivor. Not a reality TV show like you know, but a diehard. There's this fire inside her limbs that keeps the dash in between her birth dates and her death dates. Long, strong, a survival line. Her lifeline is multiplied by the existence of salt lakes and salt oceans. Her salt tears have seen far too many tragedies, experienced far too many broken legacies. She was forced to stop believing in the definition of virginity and the feeling of purity. Well, that's for certain church folk who have false testimonies walking down red carpet aisles, but she is a survivor. More like a heavyweight gold medalist, and this is the truth. I promise no member of the male species can handle what she went through. She went through eyes that were black, purple, and blue, a heart that was literally broken into, people walking in her life and out, family members offering nothing else but doubt, being molested at the age of 11, and brutally raped at the age of 12, survived a massive car crash at the age of 15, had to relearn how to walk in, how to read, had to patch up third-degree burns on her chest. I don't even think you want me to reveal the rest, because Evander Holyfield and Muhammad Ali can't even fight against what she's seen, because she is a tigress, a champion, a shero. Yet no matter how many times she got her heart broke, she's still a lover and a damn good mother. Yet no matter the obstacles that parallel with her tiredness, she was still give her last breath to be inspiring. She wears a life vest, a petite gold ankh around her neck, replaced victim with victorious. Her story is so powerful that it hurts, but for what it's worth, I will read this poem over and over until the entire universe gets tired, because she's more than just a woman. You are more than just a woman. She is more than just your grandmama. She is more than just your auntie. She is more than just your wife. She is more than just your baby mama. She is more. We will always be more than the things that they make us out for. We are not just women. We are survivors. Ashe, thank you so much. And I guess I could close out with this small piece called My Crown is Inspired. I recently wrote this one maybe like 2 weeks ago. And I was thinking about the crown chakra and how it's so powerful. And like now, as the earth is amplifying and so much chaos and discrepancy is happening all over the world, how we need to practice softness and surrender. And so how can that start without the heart and the crown, right? And so I wrote this for the divine feminine ancestors in my bloodline, because we are our crowns, and I am inspired. My crown is inspired to rise, to do more than just survive. My ancestors told me, remember who you are. I'm a Black queen who is destined to thrive. My crown is inspired to snatch myself, because these folks almost made me downplay myself. I looked in the mirror and said, sis, nah, wait a minute. My people are the original creators of fashion, mathematics, science, and architectural design. Each style we wear is a mantra. Each style is our reminder. Our dress code is creation itself. Black people are glorious in every lifetime, and that is worldwide. My crown is inspired to give homage. I pay back my grandmothers with sauce. I pay forward my daughters with shine. I hold my head wrap up high. I'm adorning my skin with gold. I'm adorning my skin bold. I'm dressing myself bold because I glow. I'm correcting every historical lie ever told. My crown is inspired to remember the trees of Black bodies that were lynched, the plantations of Black bodies that were enslaved, the babies of Black families that were stolen and snatched, the beauty of Black women who are culturally appropriated and raped. My crown is inspired to never forget my history, to never forget the ancients who prepared this space for me, to know the storms that I've been through are my opportunities. We walked through hell, but we did not break. Our Black bodies are beautiful in all shapes. I converted my scars into my art. Therefore, I unsubscribe from victim blame and body shame. Birthright is written all over me. To walk 1,000,000 oceans, to dance with 1,000,000,000 galaxies, to hold myself and my brothers and sisters in high regards. We are our own celebrities, baby. We are our own stars. My crown chakra told me to pull up, to elevate with the tides of this earth, align myself with self-love beyond worth. My purpose, y'all, is to remember my worth. I am I that I am. I am unbothered and carefree. I am my ancestors' wildest and boldest and courageous dreams. Align myself. My crown is inspired to rise, to shine through, elevating higher. Because listen, I come from ancestors, y'all, who walk like water. But when we do excellence, baby, we do this thing like fire. Ashe, thank you so much for your time, your space, your energy. And I pass the microphone to Nia. Ashe.
Wow, thank you so much for both of those pieces. Just the delivery, the content, everything was absolutely incredible. And I know everyone's echoing that in the chat as well. So thank you for sharing. Next up, I would like to invite Raymond Nat Turner up to the mic. Welcome back, Raymond.
You're muted, brother man.
I hear Vacha's voice. So that means I was muted. So anyway, thank you for having me and greetings to everyone. And I'm gonna do two pieces. The first piece was published in the Vision Festival's 25th anniversary program. That's a picture of Amina Claudine Myers on the cover, who was honored, given a lifetime tribute for her work. And I had a piece in the program that was called Ra Was Right, in reference to Sun Ra. Like a flaming guitar sprinkled with lighter fluid, 4 alarm fires roar through dark ages on synthesizers, saxophones, trumpets, pianos, drums, basses, bury on the bottom of interstellar swing, bebop blessings of high priest of Black music, times one-dimensional, flying forward. Fly me to the moon. Let me order in the universe beyond historical blips, above smokestacks spewing mushroom clouds, above wingtip wearing idiots poisoning our planet's water, above primitive Tomahawk missiles, Apache and Black Hawk helicopters and drones, above true believers battling about our democracy, above multi-billionaire media disguised as mainstream, above 37% approval ratings, above an orange meteorite, unhumbled by the stars. Fly me to the moon with a connecting flight to Saturn, recalibrating my mind round icy rings, low-riding unknown regions, horizons, finding formulations, equations for overthrowing gray-suited, star-spangled lapel pin patriots, true believers in yes, we can, and bottle Jim Jones juice and deliver regime change you can believe in. They said Ra was out, way too far out. Now out is in and in is out, and the cosmos is cool. Saturn's home, space is the place. And this next piece was just published in Monthly Review magazine, online and in print. It's called Herd Impunity. What if a colonial settler state accidentally vaccinated 61% of its population with a virulent variant of a vicious virus? What if the virus was a WMD3 Reich redo 2 Blut and Boden colonial settler thug blood and soil transmitted pathogen? What if peoples tried masking, double masking, triple masking, quadruple masking, quintuple masking, but the only mask that worked was the Hannibal Lecter mask of aircraft steel? What if it could be contractate traced back to Wounded Knee, Horse Canyon, Upper Station, Bear River, Oak Run, Sand Creek, Mud Lake, Chicago, Philadelphia, DC, Dallas, Atlanta, Rosewood, Tulsa, Treblinka, Buchenwald, Auschwitz. What if it infected every capitalist politician, including Slick Willie, Schmuck Cheney, W, Rummy, Wolfie, the Rice Warrior women, the Drone Ranger, the Lead Lady, Boss Tweed, Lowbar, Old Schmo, Lady Blue, Chancey, Nancy, Sci-Fi, Chuck Toomer, Mitch the Witch, and even Raytheon's Raven? What if some of its symptoms included lockjaw among left liberal media, academy circles, and Tourette's on the ground? The only good Indian is a dead Indian. Lynch the N-words, death to Arabs, and Jews will not replace us.
Thank you so much, Raymond, for both of those pieces, and congrats on the publications.
Thank you. Let's see.
Next up, I would like to invite Norm Maddox up to the mic. Welcome, Norm.
Hi, good evening. This is a tremendous space that's filled with new voices that are burning it up, burning it up. I love it. I got a couple of pieces here. First piece is called Notes to Myself. It's a good thing I'm writing poetry to express my outrage. That and meditation saves me from immolating self regularly, recomposing myself from ashes. Stay home, breathe one breath at a time, appreciate simple blessings. It's a good thing I'm staying remote from the community protests. I don't want to threaten myself being co-opted by chaotic rage. Emotional boundaries overrun by stampede. I am more concerned by the mob within. Death is not incidental to protest. I have a difficult time deciding what to live for. Used to be life was lived for motherless daughters, making plans, life interrupted with reasons to die. Definitely not safe while covertly targeted for my profile. I make amends with the reaper, live life 40 minutes in front of me. I'ma do my best to stay safe in my melanin skin. That's the long fight. Ancestors remind me the ongoing struggle is life. Gonna meditate harder, write peace I can share. Next piece. Is that praise? They tell me to put on a skull cap, pull flaps down around your ears, tamp down the size of your swelling head, turn sideways so I can fit through doorways, smelling myself. They can't imagine my hat is a parachute that defies gravity, fills with Guy Mundo's breath, lifts me at the speed of light. Tectonic plates tremble, imaginations quaking, horizons expand beyond binocular vision, cavernous spaces filled with promise. They don't see how my hoodie feels like a sail, the wind at my back, lace up cinder blocks around my ankles, keep me chained to a ground that is no longer familiar. They ask me how I make my skin a suit of catch pockets and valves, breathe me forward, the direction of life. Even blown off path is toward an unbeaten that goes nowhere we can travel to, the point where light sees darkest. No one hears a silent explosion, an ascending mushroom, irradiated love, fused with love, embedded, dormant for eons, plus the 17 years it takes for Mundo to wake her locust. Cicada wings spin hurricanes across the deserts. Sand rains across the oceans. Winds spin rising heat from warm seas. Clouds blown off your coffee, barely cool the surface. Peace.
Thank you so much, Norm, for all of those pieces. Wonderful as always.
Thank you.
So I'm going to share a few pieces and then introduce our featured poet for this evening. So I think I have a combination of some new, some very old, and some that I've never read before. So this first piece is entitled Inheritance. When I say silver runs in the family, it's not that old money silver. We're talking thick braids, smooth locks, defiant curls, strands that fall like paper trails, wisps destined to defy gravity, edges slick like tide lines. Our wealth comes wrapped in silk scarves, protected nightly, fishtailed tightly, laid to rest upon satin sheets. We know that homegrown wealth best, that argon dipped, coconut oil coated, wash and go ready riches. Abundance never smelled so good. I count my strands carefully, lamenting the few who fall too early. But just wait until I wear my pearly halo proudly. Black at the root, silver is the crown. The women in my family only know how to age backwards. Our roots, once born black and proud, stay always black and proud. And the next piece. What I know to be true is I am buried beneath a bougainvillea bush. My sibling could be the very earth I lie in. Our first lifeline is now somebody else's food. It is 2:34 a.m. in the town that birthed you 103 years ago. It is 40 degrees Fahrenheit in that same town that ran your mother out. Sundown in any other place would be beautiful. My memories sleep in two separate rooms. They argue about picket lines to the wall in my childhood closet. What came first, the mask or the martyr? The forgetting begins 2 steps before the dream wakes up. The virus arrives like a door knocker. I watch erosion from afar. Suppose it's common for oceans to make arches of the rock. I'm coming to tell you we have been here before. I'm coming to tell you one day you will be the oldest generation. I'm coming to tell you this poem is the last place they will look for you. I'm coming to tell you the revolution will come with water. I tell you I am coming. And I'm going to wrap up with the newest piece, crafted just a few minutes before this program began. It is 73 degrees. Oakland is blowing to the northwest. The body sits in a white chair, still. My gaze fixes back. A 21-piece skyline is wrapped in tomorrow's fog. At this angle, the city sheds its forgivable debts, its regrettable landlords, and becomes a less greedy member of this changing landscape. A less greedy landlord changes the landscape. At this angle, the city sheds itself. Gates peak above the white caps of the sky, golden. The docks twinkle. Coins fall where they must. And my eyes close to the world. I'm going nowhere and everywhere. Thank you. And with that, it is my honor to introduce Gabriel Cortez. Gabriel is a Black biracial poet, educator, and organizer of Panamanian descent. His work has appeared in the New York Times, National Public Radio, Huffington Post, the Rumpus, and the Breakbeat Poets Anthology Volume 4. He's a VONA Fellow, BAR's Workshop alum, NALAC grant recipient, and winner of the Judith Stronach Baccalaureate Prize. Gabriel is a member of the artist collective Ghostlines and co-founder of the Root Slam, an award-winning poetry venue dedicated to inclusivity, justice, and artistic growth, as well as Right Home, a project working to challenge public perceptions of houselessness and shift critical resources to houseless Bay Area youth through spoken word poetry. Gabriel works as director of programs at Youth Speaks, one of the world's leading presenters of spoken word performance, education, and youth development programs. Welcome, Gabriel.
Let us greet each other in the flights of our era. Let us heel toe, wobble, boogie, twist, and slide electric to a song we might not know all the words to, but still pranced or proud inside of, determined to stunt. Consecrated in the cleanest white tees, the $10 bill might sweet talk across our elbows or style salvage from our parents' closets, which the radio croons fly again. For the nights our lonely wanted to return to us cooler than the chain net splash at the end of a Tide game. Or was it the grasses wilding between unfenced yards until sneakers stomped them into turf, where we first learned to humble ourselves, raised by the gust of another boy's heave, where the sound of getting cracked still fractures the air. And when there was no field, we ran the street, that hoopless court, shattered glass and oil slick, where we measured our speed in local topography, knees behind a snapped stick starting line, singing past the trees, the stoop, the stop sign, the crowd of us placing bets at the end of the block. And when there was no street, when the only place we accumulated was in the fold of our uncle's hands, or whoever it was that first taught us to give dap, it was a lexicon of fingers, a house raised and fell within the span of our address, the slang of our palms. Oh, bus stop, oh, lunch table, oh, barber shop, movie theater where we weaved conspiracies of first kiss that never came to pass. Oh, roller skating rink of the unrequited heart. Oh, Kool-Aid stained carpet. Oh, basement lingering funk. Oh, group text, message board, status update unfurling into scroll. If we circled there long enough, then it is ours. Come, let us reach for each other and fail. Let us stumble over the tongue's redlined geography tangled in the ornate coils of each other's hair. Let us gather like gangs do, or a choir, or a garden, a hall of mirrors, a flock of birds blackening the sky, wearing no other's name but our own. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me in this space. A big shout out to Nia for organizing this, for getting us all on this call. There's so many folks in this virtual room that I send so much love to. Hello, Avacha. Hello, Yeva, Sarai, Poetry, Anthony, Tarita, James, and all the fam that we're about to be connecting with tonight. Just so happy to be amongst y'all. And special shout out to the MoAD too, for real. Like I remember seeing Alan Pelaez Lopez holding down a feature a few years ago, and just so much love to that space where you could also encounter like an Andrew Wilson exhibit or San Francisco young folks from Soda holding it down. So just really grateful for just that intergenerational, multimedia, multidimensional space and the ways y'all been lifting it up online too. So I got some poems for y'all. Hope you like them. A mix of old and new, but check it out. This next one is called Ode to Street Ball. I was raised in the era of street ball, bowed my head at the altar of And One mixtapes and Allen Iverson commercials. While you were practicing free throws, I spent the entire summer flicking an orange wish back and forth between my legs. My first basketball team, I didn't understand why I couldn't bounce the ball off of someone's head. What good is a jersey if it won't carry a small sum into orbit? Because isn't style as important to the game as final score? Praise the trick pass, praise the broken ankle, praise the prayer of a shot answered by the net's clapping teeth. Every possession, the possibility of miracle. Before our fingers could scrape the bottoms of backboards, we dared dream of a dunk that broke the rim and sent the entire playground into retirement. We who will never join a league or make a Sports Center highlight reel, scratch our myth into cracked blacktop, weave our breath between chain-linked three-point arcs, lace our shoes till even their stitched jaws grow slack with story. Ask the tarmac how I shook a man so bad he kissed the earth. Ask the stolen net how it still sings the quiet, impossible whoosh each time the ball passes through the bone-plucked rim. We play a different game. It is the difference between classical music and jazz, ballet and b-boy, the turntable and what the DJ summons from melted wax. Call it shirts versus skins, call it winner take ball, call your own fouls, win by 2, run it back, and 1. This next piece is called Fat Joe at the 9th grade dance, and it begins with a small epigraph. My niggas don't dance, we just pull up our pants and hug ourselves when we are sure no one else will. We cradle the gangly architecture puberty left us, 5 feet, 10 inches of ash and bone and the most crisp white tees our mother's ironing boards could conjure. Fists clenched around any baseline that promises to swell our sharp elbows a suit of armor. Because ever since Ty got armpit hair and started flexing muscles that even make the teachers look twice, ever since we grew taller than our girlfriends and thought ourselves men, ever since Maria got pregnant and Jeremy got his teeth kicked in and we saw them break like dice across the school parking lot, ever since then, my niggas don't smile, my niggas don't dance, my niggas square up, my niggas carve Ona and Radius into sword and shield, my niggas turn quiet survival tactics cacophony each time we lean back. Here's a new poem. It's called Most Memories Involve Bugs Here. Most memories involve bugs here. Black moth caterpillars crawling on your hands, a jar, a terrarium, a glass coffin. What did I know of becoming? We roll around in grass as bait for ticks, beans growing full behind our ears, then cooked as I cried, a lighter's flame the only way to pluck this blood harvest. At night, yellow, yellow, yellow lights float like lanterns. Everywhere there is grass, sometimes also a bench press outside in the grass amongst the flies, which Dante laid beneath even in elementary school, a shelled brown thing pushing up the sky. Imagine us boys trying to teach our bones to swell, to glow, to fist fast in bodies we knew must evolve or die. This next piece is a contrapuntal. So it's 3 poems in one. And it's called Black on Both Sides. And when I was writing it, I was trying to figure out, what's a cool way to, just kind of have just the multiple different experiences of my Blackness in conversation with each other. So I was thinking very much about Blackness and spirit and what we've created and inherited in the United States, as well as Blackness and food and what we've created and inherited from the West Indies and Panama, where my mother's from. So here's part 1. 1, child of God, mother dressed for praise dance like Sunday's best. Big hats in every color. We listened to gospel on the Sabbath and prayer. What held us around the table? Was it faith or an older dread? Grandma's skin so pale at her funeral, we knew she wasn't there, but home amongst the angels. This is side 2. Rice and peas and a bird sealed in oil. Brown skin, plátanos cooked sweet. A cabinet full of condensed sugar, grandma's patties, fingertips pinched the dough shut like a wound learning to heal. Between our hands, thighs, breasts, wings, white meat. The whole table full when the aroma called us to eat before our eyes. And now this is part 3 where it's reading across both pieces at the same time. Child of rice and peas and God, a bird sealed in oil. Mother dressed brown skin for praise dance, plátanos cooked like sweet Sunday's best, a cabinet full of big hats condensed in every color, sugar. We listened to grandma's patties gospel on the Sabbath, fingertips pinched in prayer. What held the dough shut? Us around the table, like a wound. Was it faith or learning to heal an older dread between our hands? Grandma's skin, thighs, breasts, wings, so pale, white meat at her funeral. We knew the table full when she wasn't there, but the aroma called us home to eat amongst the angels before our eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Continuing with spirit. I don't know if y'all had the experience just in this trippy pandemic world of experiencing church, a Sunday service online. I did, and this is kind of a poem about it. It's called "My Pastor Dresses for Church, Ending in Wealth Redistribution." There is no testament, new or old, that could predict my pastor's suit game. This Sunday, a robe of paisleys curled across his shoulders, looking like a bag of coffee falling in slow motion over the pew. Last Sunday, subtle silver beneath the cuff, grays snatched off a tin man. 9 months, they said, no repeats. Each bow tie proof of power up high. My faith is not in God, but the gospel of Stacey Adams, wool-spun peacock, pinstriped mafioso of polar white furs. Even with empty church, he sits cross-legged, buttoned, a voice sliding up from its brass collar, trombone smooth, filling a croaking arc. These days, we can't count our dead, gather to mourn. Still, the sermon bootstraps. I wonder if he dreams of rapture, the day his Lord returns to lift him from this polyester, raise him naked to the sky. Does he pray to wear the clouds like supple cotton, smog leather toes, while on earth, all us sinners are left with is a pool of warm silks, an armoire of divine scripture, fistful of rings in each hand. Shout outs. Yes, shout outs to Stacey Adams. So fun reading the chat. Thank you, y'all. This is a new poem. Y'all remember, I'm sure y'all, because we're like still in it, the milk crate challenge. So if this is getting recorded and folks are like in the future, like, what are you talking about, Gabe? there was a trippy moment in existence when folks took the milk crates and started to stack them up. And the challenge was like, could you get to the top of the stack? And there was a really beautiful painting that was actually created, inspired by it. It was called Striving for Prosperity by Greg Simmons II. And I found it on Reddit, posted like from a deleted tweet that someone just captured. And I loved it because it had the Kendrick quote as like the title, just like, I remember you was conflicted, as the person stepping up the stairs. This is a poem inspired by that. It's called Tower of Babel, a collapsing sonnet for the milk crate challenge. Dairy industry Jenga block, Walmart dumpster buoy. From what wet and breezy alley were you claimed? You, bodega ramparts balancing mangoes and make it look easy. What fragile hope did your cross-stitched fingers first carry? Was it ever milk? Whose bottles turned second-hand vase when the glass lingers longer than what they originally smuggled? A hollow refilled with water is a bicep flexed, dumbbell for the cheap. Egg carton taped walls distill the aspiring rapper's song. Yes, you plus bike equal delivery basket. Haul of miles, nicks and wonder turns you into a record crate. Two laid beneath a board makes the table. One more a cubicle. Oh, stem cell of the hood. All that we hoard, we architect into something better or at least affordable. Poverty makes us all conservationists. Remember in Genesis, the story of Babel tells of a people who tried to climb their way to heaven. What profane bricks did they build their stairs with then? What curse did they shiver away from? Today, we pray to the same delicate idol. Oh God of falling, oh trapdoor magician, joke ladder that leaves my uncle sideways and consulting the grass. Oh, to have the air sucked from inside of you by laughter's benign infect. Oh, to wheeze and not worry about last breath. More poems, more poems, more poems. This one is from my uncle. And yeah, y'all, we're in a moment where some folks think the earth is flat. So as an act of love, this is This is flat earth for conspiracy niggas. Where the government finally admits what my uncle already knows, where he counts the evidence of every chain letter YouTube theory DM'd and told you so's. Syringe smuggle microchips, a trail of chemicals wiretap in the sky, cabinets named after children returned, moon landings, satanic sex rings, the melting point of steel, even the earth's curvature unravels at the pool of the bright thread. Here, my uncle never need heard of redlining. No food desert, asthma, police prison industry, climate change, Jim Crow, Tuskegee, Tulsa, syphilis experiment, involuntary sterilization because there is none. No COINTEL history books with my blood erased from the telling, no systemic racism, cis heteropatriarchy, regressive tax codes designed to remove us of our Black skin. Here, my uncle says alien and means unidentified flying object, Area 51, instead of undocumented citizen, the crater that became his father's face when he realized he sailed too far in that dark and starlit sea to ever swim back home. Here, my uncle speaks in bootstraps, what we can prove with our hands, pulling himself up towards that domed roof of a sky where even the sun crawls on rails, hammered into the air by human design. Here, injustice is always Illuminati coordinated, a cabal of others' bodies in dark rooms filled with smoke, never our own complicity. When his time comes, I imagine my uncle walking to the edge of the earth where he leaps and he floats into the cosmos, his body finally unanchored from reality. Nobody is buried here. Nobody really dies. We just curl into question marks for others to wonder, where did we go? What really happened to us? This next piece is called Stop Motion. We've been in America too long. I count 3 generations on my mama's side, where 2 out of 3 of us still hangs our patriotism camouflaged in a closet, an artifice of flora, where the children bloom from the mouths of deconstructed guns. On my little brother's side, time is swallowed by another fiction, how close the dermis favors Louisiana soil, where cash-cropped indigo perhaps blessed our kin the first inspiration for blues. My little bro, the darkest amongst us, is fluent in self-hate. He recognizes his reflection setting fire to a shoe store by his apartment, hands full of Air Force Ones and cotton spun into white tees. He prays for a pistol to extinguish the light. He joins the army instead. And what can be said of my father's people, where 4 generations evaporates into always, and what we were before America lays bloody atop a white altar. The Star of David decorating my great-grandmother's collarbone rises to claim another sky Israel and another tribe Philistine. As concentration camps once again erase an unauthorized people, we quietly take in the swine. We sculpt a border inside ballot boxes. We grow a country where once cowered a heart. A few more pieces left. This one is called Gather. 6:30 a.m. The sun stretches its fingers through every window, broken and unbroken alike. There lies a parable about equality. There lays a child murdered in the streets of You Pick the City. In the bathroom mirror, I practice adhering a face back together. Soon I will decide what shirt to wear to my mugshot, the logistics of milk and spray, how best to layer a spine for beating. What defense is bicycle helmet from nightstick, respirator for an arm-choked esophagus. The jaw envies the stainless steel thermos, how it reservoirs water, how it furnaces heat, how it opens glass with its whole body committed through the frame. I lace my kicks for arson, swim goggle for gas, oven mitt for smoke. I fly my hair loose and coiling, a flag intent on burning. If anger is a blood moon rising to my throat, what of the officer who will arrest me? The star mocking their chest. Do they also slide their uniform over their knees one leg at a time? Imagine how stiff a neck grows before breaking. So I've been an organizer of spaces about as long as I've been a poet. So currently holding it down at You Speaks, director of programs, and shouts to the Root Slam, Right Home Project, Cow Slam, Get Lit, team captain up in the building, and all the spaces that have held me, and I've been fortunate to hold too. I believe deeply in just the ways in which this process of just gathering and circling and, you know, through writing can be catharsis, can be healing. And most importantly, just helps us in that step out of isolation and just aloneness. So like, thank you, Nia, for gathering us again. And also want to invite folks over, especially if you got young folks, please send them on through to the Youth Speaks things. We are looking for y'all desperately. And I know we got family members, nibblings and such up in here too. So please send them our way. I'll drop a little sign up in the chat. But also want to shout out, if you are a grown person and you are like trying to hold space for these youngsters, I got resources for you too. There's a crew called Bay Educators and Organizers for Youth Voice that we're running through Youth Speaks, trying to put folks on, you know, lace folks up with resources to hold that space. Just wanted to share that with you. I got a few more poems, then I'll pass it on back so we can get back to this open mic. This piece is called Ars Poetica Revision. And yeah, inspired by a little tweet that Jamila Woods put out a long time ago that just stuck with me, just on giving advice on writing the book. And she said, have the first poems intro the worlds or languages the book is going to explore. It's like a key on a map, hashtag books with my woes. Here we go. Once I lived in the only town I ever lived. There, trees swayed with caterpillars and fireflies competed with streetlights to send our kid bodies in from the night. We ran, our hands cupped, ladling the candle-wicked dark, trying to capture what glowed above our heads and insisted in our mother's voice, it's time to come home. Then I moved. Small town Maryland molts into Virginia suburbs, where once was cicada song, construction hammers the air. I learned the currency of words like cul-de-sac, outlet mall, non-denominational, 5th grade and friendless, memory only to myself, my first revision is my name. Call me Gabriel, call me Mouse. If I must start over, let me love all that is unremarkable in me, buck teeth, protuberant ears, an elusive shade of brown. Let me be the tall grass where the ticks live, scrawny enough to scatter beneath any door. Let me find sustenance in what is thrown out, left for wild, a quiet so invasive it multiplies, it mischiefs, if not forever, for now. A name, like a home, like a first draft, is temporary. The last Panamanian discovers they are not alone. They say there are 226 of us alive today who point to the same sepia skin photograph and say, Mama, Papa, lips thick with resemblance, mouths spilling over with rumor of what island, who was born on, who amongst us first learned to ride an ocean's distance like a bike to work. Family, who needs a national holiday when we have our abuelito's anniversary? A vow us children's children renew again 17 years after wedding bands were buried back in the soil. Who needs a history book, DNA test, family tree when we have our aunties, 12, whose daughters play the dozens around the virtual table? Bring our parents' molas, tembleques, and straw hats to the cookout with a kind of gentleness that comes with forgetting who is and isn't blood. Come, cousin, paint a map of my face and I will guide you back home. Home, not a plot of land or a country or a flag planted in that good work of our hands, but this, all this that we inherited, suddenly visible across 30 Black and luminous screens. I have not seen Panama through human eyes, but I do recognize my good and healthy kin. And this is my last poem. It's called, I Just Wanted to See What It Would Do When I Say. And there was a beautiful moment organizing with my sister and CC Gervais Gordon, where we got an automatic, so we were trying to make sure that our spaces were like accessible, you know, especially for folks that need support, you know, are hearing impaired. So we had an automatic caption generator for the Root Slam spaces, right? So it's like, you can see what folks are saying, you know, as I say it aloud as written. And we were joking around afterwards and she was like, yeah, like just playing with it. So this is a beautiful moment that happened and I made a poem about it. Yay, shouts to the Root Slam. So it's cut again, I just wanted to see what it would do when I say. CC says nigga, and the automatic caption generator stops. Somewhere, a phantom stenographer lifts his hands from the keys and cranes a mylar ear forward, listening again for that giddy sound, which hinges the air between the bodied and the bodiless like a screen door. We chuckle, wondering how a computer might pronounce the 6th grade shibboleth, lunch table where we learn to cuss and flip quarters bloody-knuckled, bloody-skinned amongst our own. What could silicone or wires electric teach us of ash and cocoa buttered knees? Of lips thick with slang lifted off the backseat of our uncle's Acura, the oral tradition of poison distilled into cure. Nigga, disaggregated into syllables as a 2-step authentication. From behind its aluminum dermis, the machine transcribes the living, studying the sound a muscle makes skip the cross roof of mouth. It hears nasal cavity, soft palate, a throat hatched in the blackbird from trees buzzsawed into dust. The computer whirs its robot fingers in search of a match, and we watch as algorithms scratch our breath into constellations for somebody else's sky. Nigga, nickel, nigga, nightgown, nigga, Nigerian, Nimbus, Megan, nigga, until finally, aha, from aside its glass display case, N asterisk 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 A smiles back at us like a cheap grill. The censored version of the song they play at the school dance, teachers interrupting our wind and sweat, the ugly shirt they made us wear for showing too much good Black skin. And me and Cece are like, LOL, cackling at the familiar script, acquainted as we are with that hand behind the hand, its color and pull, how long before Zoom calls we learned whiteness operates at the level of code. But imagine with me a system hacked. Imagine if from within its constants and variables, ciphers and schemes, the automatic caption generator hears Cece say nigga, and in the pause that follows, constructs an entire new alphabet to ornate its brilliance. And what if from inside this opening, the computer caresses its own keys, knowing everything there is to know, and types N asterisk 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 A, and it means, look what cosmos I made for you. N asterisk 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 A, a body made of stars. Nigga, an asteroid belt slung so low the hem gathers black holes beneath its heels. Nigga, a history book so thick with reference, its letters annotated, its annotations annotated. Not asterisk, asterisk, asterisk applicable, a hieroglyphic motion carved into life. Look, nigga playing double dutch with itself. Look, nigga bouncing the rock off of her own head. Look, nigga a stream of water, an open hydrant pouring into the lake of its own mouth. Nigga of 3 moons orbit, nigga of planets fixed by the gravity of the throat's guffaw, nigga a spell spelled out and secured atop the air like the last sliver of night shimmering over the dark and illuminated horizon between us. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it right back to you, Nia.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, for that incredible set. Every single piece I know hit me hard, and everyone again in the chat is just shouting you out. I really appreciate your poetry, also the spaces that you're creating for us to share exactly as you were speaking about. And thank you for shouting out some of the other events and opportunities coming up for youth poets and, as you said, grown folks. I do want to give you another chance if there's any other events that you have coming up or any things you want to plug right now. I always want to encourage everyone here in the audience to find more ways to support you in all of our features. So if you have anything to add, this is the time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I think the main thing right now is just trying to get the young folks up in the space. You know, so if you, again, know any 13 and 19-year-olds on the Bay specifically, in the city, in the town, wherever they're at, send them on over, just youthspeaks.org. There's a lot of dope things for them to plug into. Learn how to rap, learn how to publish a book, get on the team representing the Bay for the Poetry Slam. It's a lot of good things. So please just pass on the good word, and thank you.
Amazing, thank you so much. I'm now putting in the chat the lineup for our second half to continue this wonderful night. So I'd like to invite up Landon Smith to kick us off.
Thank you. Happy Poets Day to everybody. And thank you, Gabriel, for some wonderful words that I now have to follow. You had me in a little spiritual mood, so I'm gonna do a short one before I do this other one. It's called Generations. My grandmother's hand said it would always be with me. Told me if I didn't heal first, I would be teaching nightmares by the morning. Looking face first into the well of my bloodline to see what not healing leaves me. When this rage balls fists in my sleep so I can be armed against memory. Fight trauma head on until my blood pressure puts me in the file they red tag for black folk. My mother's voice tells me she will always be with me and I cannot make it up the steps bleeding like this. Spilling trauma onto pages with questions ignored and spines snapped in lecture halls just to remain lock-lipped for couth. To murder spirit for assimilation and the promise of a maybe. Met a family before my last breath. Child told me there's only half of me showing. Said kids can see ghosts and asked me to find where the rest of me went. Locked in a professor's bottom drawer beneath a story they stole just to uncover more bullets. Found ways to harm faster if healing stays out of reach. Paint portraits of me out there, Grandma. Let these hands rest for once before I can't remember how to find you. And then other one. It's called Keep Waking Up on This Butcher Block. If you don't carve out a healing space, a legislator might use your flesh for sacrifice. Fascism fed farm to table. Grassroots campaign can't rid the stench of shit in the soil. Recycled frame showed another black woman with claw marks on skin. Gallery armed and ready for CIA to divide and conquer fiberglass bones to grass-fed beef. National Guard on bureaucrat speed dial. Tell them niggers not to loot or air fresheners gonna spill bloodstains on ready-made caskets. Send condolences to another black daughter. Cut the check and tell them to move on. The settler colonial scheme can't farm to table your remains if it dissolves you first. Slaughterhouse silos with border bans and bodies of black women sacrificed for collective white comfort. We've seen this script before. Yet y'all still ready to hold knives to black arteries. Democracy just a fable we rode past. Crossing into this cemetery we wake up on a loop. Until the shards of black protests get beaten into another voter campaign for Obama to stand by a black woman to wave clinking chains of Asada, grinding bones into soil backed by Biden budgets and virtue signaling progress just to express shit billy clubs. And kill the English dictionary in you and you might be a revolutionary by nightfall. Offer your last breath to the asphalt. It'll ask if you at least fought back. Ask if you apologize to all the minute hands. Chain holder made quilts out of your ancestors. Sewed it loosely and told you let it keep you warm. Told you make sure skin to skin stays pure for value. TV anchor made a mosque apologize for getting rub fibers on Israeli tear gas canisters. The gall to pray on Ramadan when occupation is first order. Press release preaching love from a rifle barrel and seduced another overnight. Thoughts and prayers, the official international intervention strategy. Mandela knew what Malcolm knew, what Huey knew, what Angela knows. Freedom is only future tense when settler colonial bombs breach child bedrooms for sport. Smallpox blanket turned signed legislator turned legal precedent. Courtrooms filled with co-conspirators moonlighting with burned crosses. Resistance rage from a protest cast as more white noise. MK Ultra, but in a classroom lecture about work ethic, predated by a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an omission of guilt, sequenced by a social service being cut for privatization, or profit propaganda funneling feet toward industrialized debt. No time to grieve when sick leave is used up. Bereavement pay only lasts 2 days, so shed your tears and get back to your station. Commodified hip-hop breeding black capitalists in a medium we don't even own. Sony boardrooms whiter than the publishing rights used to drive a one-hit wonder to overdose on individualism. Predators preying on products in studios and FAFSA apps saying just click that loan box. Can't put a price on hard work. Can't put a price on degrees. Meritocracy myths mashing elitism toward addiction, one entitled dream at a time. Poverty must mean you ain't work hard enough. Hop back to job number 3 with a bullet in your leg so that landlord can passive income you to funeral service. If you die early, you might balance their budget sheet for the quarter. Death benefit boosting production timelines for tweens to choose majors. Be a specialist. Make a better life. Assimilation costs a capitalist less than your soul would. We'll give you a deal if you hand over both. Maybe materialism could fit community bones beneath Tesla tires. Long as the charging station looks nice. Long as speakers bump commodity loud enough to praise purchases from masters. Cuba been had cancer vaccines, yet capitalism seen as hero somehow. Padded pockets piling profits on the carrot sticks, preaching Forbes-less aspiration as world service, as hard work, as 3-job grind culture. Poison implanted for paper. Never had a dream within this colonial opiate. Capitalists othered a railroad worker, then Silk Road traded them for dirt. Threw a pig at a labor strike and watched bodies fall. Greasy palms lubricate prison pipelines while a moderate preachers reform. Property tax still funding school budgets, and they had the nerve to tell me to grab a picket sign while a rock's sitting right here. Smoke and mirrors still breeding infighting over blood money. All money is blood money. Thought we made it out cotton fields just to be grandfathered in. Heard a whip crack and a handcuff clasp. A sentencing hearing. A salary negotiation behind bulletproof plantation windows. Revolution on the verge of property starts asking questions, so you better step and fetch, or chant something about change we can believe in. And what we doing before this next death anyway? And why do my fingers still form prayer hands with muzzles? Thank you. And shout out, okay, Nia, I see you with the hair volume. I see the new haircut, girl. You better go off. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much, Landon. I feel like I could not type fast enough to type all the lines that I wanted to put in the chat. I don't know if anyone else was having that experience, but thank you very much for the poems. Next up, I would like to invite Nana Boateng up to the mic. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Nia. Thank you always for bringing us together in this space. And so many of my favorite writers are always here. So it's so great to just, be in community with you all. I'm gonna read 2 poems. And the first one is called Knuckle Up to This. Both of these poems are memories. 1. There's no spread that can ease a knuckle into an eye. The diameter sits off kilter, bow-legged with creased ends. An eye more suited for observation awaits assembly. Do you want a knuckle sandwich? A question leaned over torn blue leather, trembled and sticky in the heat of the school bus. I grind my teeth until the glaucoma in my right eye settles enough for me to catch a smirk. If you didn't want it, why did you say yes? I was insatiable at 5. Fingers greased in Keebler, cheesy dust enriched my grin, bereft of lipid, puffing and receding gingiva, peanut butter, a chunky patima gooped on silver molars. You could make a meal if you stretch your mouth wide. A fist can melt in your mouth. A fist can be light and flaky. A fist is served best cold. 2, pinching at knotted phrase, a Senegalese woman splinters the hymen of my scalp. Blue magic, predecessor to black, is a corrective. You can smell the first day on a Black girl. A meal best served, taut and bubbling, moisture pockets under the petroleum coolant, conditioning itself for white knuckles. That's the magic, right? My next poem, this one is very new and I'm still kind of workshopping it, but I'm excited to read it. It's called How to Hit an Ollie from the Back. In 2004, Mundane was Janet Jackson's nationalized brown nipples, covered in a rainbow sensor, an octave short. Some nights I dream of pleated leather and studded exoskeletons. Her command on stage, all I could do was hold my breath as network television blacked out like New York City in 1977. I made him suck through my shirt and watch as pink polyester coiled and sprung to meet his lips' crest. He kept sucking. Closed mouths don't get fed by government rations, now mundane and gaping in the void of continued night, a subsidy of indecent exposure. Palms flat to receive tides and offerings. Turns out CBS doesn't foot the bill either. Grabbing at her chest for 89.8 million viewers, Janet stares down the American public and demands, "What have they done for us lately?" and awaits further instruction. Our bodies are landlocked, distant in our closeness. Our skin murmurs, "If you're lucky, you'll never see me again." MLK is airbrushed with a fat lip on his chest, and his right sleeve reads a thick, icy cursive that says, "I had a dream." His dream lives on, he mutters, a dream blended in cotton memorandum, cracked and auctioned on eBay. This too is mundane. Mundane is a Ta-Nehisi Coates essay. Mundane, bin, hands up, don't shoot. Clairvoyance reads as mentally unwell and mundane. Mundane was me repositioning the board. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Nana. It's wonderful to hear your poetry. It's very exciting to have you here. Thank you. Next up, I would like to invite Raymond Camacho up to the mic. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me in this beautiful space. Thank you to all the poets who went before and to go after me. I'm Raymond Camacho. I'm actually from New York City. I'm a gay Puerto Rican poet. And this poem is called I Am. And I read with the sound of the coquis, so you're gonna hear them in the background. New York City. This city is not your home, but you live here now. Brownstones taken from stones bashed into brown skulls. But the neighborhood you live in is a little too black, so make sure your doors are locked at night. A little too black, so make sure you stay indoors at night. A little too black, so make sure the police break down those doors at night. A little too black, because gentrification is your birthright, and your new neighborhood needs less color and a little more white. These liquor stores didn't drink us out. These banks didn't freeze us out. The schools didn't teach us out. The guns didn't shoot us out. The police didn't shoot us out. The nooses weren't tight enough. Our trees weren't tall enough. Our feet still touched the dirt, so y'all stepped on flowers instead. I am not white. My skin tells you lies. My ancestors were colonized, but I look like you, and I write poetry. So you'll gladly pay more money to hear me speak. You'll gladly pay more money to look inside me, because I look like your next tweet. I am the definition of your Black Lives Matter fantasy. Post a picture of me. Check off being an ally for the rest of the year. You are welcome. Tweet a picture of your American flag, white stripes on Black lives, red on the bottom of your white hoods. Blue is the color of your boots, because white people love to step on flowers. I can't breathe. We can't breathe, and we choke on your stars and stripes. I trade you all the stars and stripes for all the Black lives. Let my people go. Let my people be independent and free from your democracy. Red, white, and blue. Red blood of African and Taino. White man in Spanish flags. Blue tears flow down the river. We only got lighter. Hair got straighter. Pants got tighter. I am not white. And my ancestors are still crying. And my ancestors are still trying to tell me that New York City is not my home. This artificial island, artificial beach, artificial sun, artificial trees, artificial waters. My mother still wonders why being a New Yorican means we can't swim back home. I am not white. I don't have the privilege to sit on my ass and hear poetry about trauma, our trauma, my people's trauma, my ancestral trauma. Stop fetishizing our trauma. Trauma is not the only color of my flag. I write rainbows. So when you stare because you love to stare, because it's too late to look away, can't escape this Black space, remember, I am not white. I am not your friend. I am not your ally. I am not your porn site. I am not going to read white poetry or create white spaces for white poets. I am not going to give my ancestors another reason to cry. I am not white. I am African, Taino, Spanish. I am not white. I am the Goki poet. I am not white. I am Raymond Camacho. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Come on. Thank you for speaking on all of that. Next up, I would like to invite Corinne Khan up to the mic. Welcome.
Hello, thank you, Nia. My name is pronounced Corinne, and I always have to say that.
Oh, sorry about
because,
that.
No, you're fine. It's honestly because my dad did not ask how to pronounce it when he decided to spell it the way he did. So I think that's actually wonderful, because the poem I would like to read is actually dedicated to my dad, or at least has been inspired by his role in my life. And then I'll read another after that, that just seems fitting for the setting. So 1 second. My dad is a white man. Though his skin tans deeper than mine after a fishing season has finished, and he carries tiger stripes on his toes all year round from the sandals he wears on board his boat, regardless of the weather. My dad is a white man who realized early on that the spirit of man could not be owned by one religion, and that heaven's door did not open only for those who wore the cross and showed up with enough awareness to call Jesus their savior. My dad is a white man who had his heart broken enough times by a white woman that he finally followed the pieces left behind to an island where he got to make his lasting legacy find footing in the foothills of Pity Valley, in the arms of a Black woman who helped him see more of the universe than he could ever have imagined. My dad is a white man who taught his daughter how to see spirit in all living beings, and how to fish in life is essentially the same process as fishing on any river. If you don't put your line in the water, you can't catch anything. My dad is a white man who showed me the power of a pure heart in a mind and body, not bound by false beliefs about oneself or one's freedoms. All I ever wanted to be was like my dad, who happens to be a white man. But I'm not a white man. I have 2 X chromosomes and enough melanin in my skin that I'm unmistakably mixed. One of my first memories of my dad is that he got up from the dinner table one night, walked into the living room, and let a burp so loud rip from his gut that I swear the house shook. I wanted to burp like that, so I practiced, and I learned. I remember surprising everyone with my ability to belch, so much so that one day my dad's father sent me a book all the way from England entitled How to Be a Lady. I never read it. Not long after, my dad told me that maybe I should stop burping so loudly. Ouch. I realized I couldn't be like my dad if I wanted to. I couldn't be as free with my body. Now, the world likes to remind me relentlessly that I'm not a white man. I love the wrong people. I say the wrong things. I wear the wrong clothes. That my way is the wrong way. Shut up. Listen to what I say. See me. See me in my entirety. My family tree extends beyond these ideals of identity. I am rooted in the garden of mankind and blooming beyond the limits of anyone's imagination. And maybe, just maybe, if you took a closer look, question the references in whoever wrote your own book, you'd see yourself more free than whoever the white man ever thought that you could be. Lost it. Hold on. Okay. So this one, I love, Gabriel, that you asked if anyone had gone to church. Because I haven't gone to church, but I really like the call and response that happens in church. So if you feel like doing this for yourself, please do. You don't have to unmute yourself. Repeat after me. I am enough. I am enough for the air to uplift. I am enough for the earth to support. I am enough for the rain to fall on. I am enough for the sun to kiss. Repeat after me. You are enough. You are enough for my heart to hold. You are enough for my life to unfold. You are enough for my love to find home. You are enough for my mind to break free. You are enough for me to just be. Let's say this one together. We are enough. We are enough for our ancestors' pride. We are enough for us never to hide. We are enough for all earthly spaces. We are enough to uncover our faces. We are enough to count ourselves in. For when push comes to shove, we are enough to have been who we've been. We are enough. Thank you.
Thank you for both of those pieces. And I really appreciated all that you shared, and especially how affirming that last piece was. So thank you. Next up, I would like to invite Andrea Jacobo up to the mic. Welcome. Are you with us here?
Hello. Oh my goodness. I am.
Hi.
I was just trying to actually try to set myself up, and if it would be possible to go after, but if not, it's okay. I'm trying to. I'm just getting the space.
We can switch you and James.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so grateful for the space and the flexibility. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. James Cagney, welcome up to the mic.
Hey, how are you, Nia? Blessings to you. And this was a phenomenal reading. I was almost distracted for a second, but much love to you guys. Much love to Gabriel. Wow, this is incredible reading. Yeah, let me do it. This is a pantoum. This is called Gold Flip-Flops and Sunflower Seeds. Siren stands sentry on an empty street corner, feet aflame in gold flip-flops. I got to give her half my check. You got to have money to be broke. Barking directions into a 38 caliber cell phone like she held hostages. I got to have some place to go based off this right here. I got to give her half my check. You got to have money to be broke. Are you planning to disappear? I hope to leave my family and disappear with you. I gotta have some place to go based off this right here, beneath a peach sky in feathery reds, blue cheese clouds. Are you planning to disappear? I hope to leave my family and disappear with you. Barking directions in a 38 caliber cell phone like she held hostages, beneath a peach sky in feathery reds, blue cheese clouds. Siren stands sentry on an empty street corner, feet aflame in gold flip-flops. And this is a poem called Proposal. I make pilgrimage to the ancient temple of the sea, to construct an altar of hydrangeas and grape hyacinths, to propose to you, my ocean, in your evening gown of lilac and fuchsia. Take the diamond sparks sizzling through my palm. Let me bring the hurricane and lay a bouquet of sunken ships full of watermelon and coconut in your private lagoon. Let these timid fingers soothe your capillary waves while you drop stitch centuries of quilted foam. To you, time and its trivia is a running joke. Go on and laugh the sundown while I wipe the sandpipers from the corners of your eyes. I've been taking cowrie shells for antidepressants. God help my superstitious doctors prescribing drugs that make society appear to be okay. My heart serrated after boundless scrolls of seawater. Cleanse me down to my pilot light, here at the beginning of all waters, where spirit burns like a bonfire at dawn. Okay, thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you, James. Wow, both of those incredible, and thank you for everything.
Thank you to you. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this reading. Thank you for this series.
Wonderful. Well, I would like to invite up Andrea Jacobo back up to the mic.
Thank you. Wow. I'm so excited to be back in this space. It's been a while. Summer stole what fall replaces, and that's a John Mayer song. And I'm just really grateful. So this piece is called August 23rd, 2021, 9:10 p.m. I asked my fourth grade teacher, why does water taste so sweet when you get out of the ocean? It is the only place I've experienced the taste of water. Sweet water, Miami, where swamplands turn into estuaries of dreams of a better future, mangroves protecting storms from the wind season, sweet water. I'm looking forward to the days I can be free. Sweet water. I'm looking forward to the oasis that I can bathe, me, you, us. I'll never forget when I learned how anemones die and cories mourn of the days in which they broke algae, dusted breadcrumbs that led to their antidote of loneliness. It's through water where I came from, sweet water, and the hurricane waters that brought me here. Where is the water you come from? En la casa de mi abuela Margarita, cuando se limpiaba el piso, se echaba agua. In my grandmother's house, it smelled of tree nectar. The floors were cleaned in the suds of roots. Water splashed everywhere, and I would wait to see the waves full of jabón de guava crash against the walls, like the walls of El Malecón. If you closed your eyes at night, while the bustle of Santo Domingo would come to a ghosting hum, you can hear the waves from La Azotea. These are the waters where I come from. Agua cleanses the spirit of the crimson black floors of the generations that came before me. When it rained, la lluvia would say hello and enter the home like una vecina entremetida, like the eyes of a noisy neighbor. I would watch the water rise within the track of the sliding door of El Patio of succulents. And there I would read the spillover into the living room. ¿De qué aguas vienes tú, familia? I always loved the aguacero in the summer to cool the city, to let the heat rise from the concrete, to ground the people. It allowed my spirit to roam within the raindrops. I thought I learned how to swim in the ocean, but it was in the daydreams of water. Thank you all. Have a good one.
Thank you. Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. That was so wonderful to hear. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to thank all of our readers today. This just was an especially uplifting and like wholesome open mic. I feel so full of joy from hearing all of your words. And thank you again to Gabriel for being an incredible feature. Today was just exactly what I needed. And I'm excited to share that we have more poetry coming for you. Some of you may have joined us in August when we had an all-star edition of our open mic where we brought together a bunch of our past features. Shout out to James on this call, shout out to Yeva, shout out to Landon and many other poets. And so we're bringing back that event to be inclusive of all of our features who are located nationally and globally. So we're gonna be doing part 2 of Open Mic All-Stars online on November 18th. I just dropped the link in the chat. So I really hope all of you join us for that event. We have 15 of our past features who will be all reading together. So I'm very excited for that event. In other exciting news, MoAD will be reopening to the public in about 10 days or so. We have a member preview on October 20th, and we have our public opening day on the 21st. And so I invite all of you to visit our website, which is moadsf.org, to see all of our reopening events. We have 5 new exhibitions that will be opening as well. So for all of you located in the Bay or who may be traveling to the Bay, I really encourage you to come visit us and be in our space in person. It's both wonderful to continue our online programming as well as we open the doors. So really continuing to expand this community. A couple other things, if you have a few moments after this program, we have a program survey for you to fill out. It's always wonderful to hear your feedback and your thoughts and any other ways that we can keep supporting our communities. And lastly, if you are able to financially support the museum and our programming, we do appreciate any and all donations, which can be made again through our website, moadsf.org, or via phone by texting 56512 and typing MoAD-SF. So with all of that, I'm very, very excited to continue this momentum, this programming. We have a few other programs that will be happening before we open as well. We have another wonderful poetry event that will be on Sunday, October 17th, featuring Tarita, among other readers that are here in this poetry community, and I'll be celebrating the anthology, the Patrice Lumumba anthology. So this is in partnership with Litquake and Nomadic Press. Also shout out to Landon, who's a contributor to that anthology as well. So please check out our website for all of these wonderful events, poetry events and beyond. So I encourage you to continue to support and engage with all that we're doing. And with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care.